Welcome back, everybody, to Saturday Night Live! Saturday Night Live! Saturday Night Live! Today we're going to be looking at English 3 students' accounts on their junior year and how English 3, what they had to deal with and what they had to do. So let's get to the chase! Get to the students!
So the first skit is based on the book The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien. And The Things They Carried is a collection of 22 short stories by Tim O'Brien, which follow a group of soldiers who faced death, disease, and depression during the Vietnam War. And in this skit, Hazel, Jules, Avery, Nathan, Jonathan, Jake, and Alex will describe the responsibilities that we carry as AP English students.
So I carry my keys because I have English 8th period, and I like to stand at the door and run to my car because traffic's not fun. And I have my phone because it's really important. And I normally have my lunch kit for food because I get really hungry, but I took my stuff to my car, so I don't. That's it.
So I carry this book, carry this book, carry this book, also carry this book, sorry, that book, carry this other book. Sometimes I carry this book, I also carry my shoes.
Okay, so I carried Avery's grade during group projects.
So, I carry my English notebook and a pen. That is all.
So I carried a pen because you're required to write every single essay in pen. Yeet!
So I carried all the books that we read this year. And also in cold blood, but I don't know that.
Okay, so I also carried a jacket with me because 1, it's hella cold in Miss Settle's room, and 2, I'm a junior. I don't get enough sleep. This is essential to sleep.
So the next skit is based on the book In Cold Blood, which is a nonfiction novel by American author Truman Capote. It details the 1959 murders of 4 members of the Herbert Clutter family in the small farming community of Holcomb, Kansas. And in this skit, Gabe, Sydney, Tara, and Mark will describe what killed us in AP English.
God, this essay is going to kill me. If only I had spent time not procrastinating instead of drinking coffee and trying to pull all-nighters to finish it. I mean, who even cares about libraries? Like, a synthesis essay for an AP exam? I can hardly write this in 2 days. They're going to give me 40 minutes on my AP exam. I definitely shouldn't have waited to the last minute. Oh, oh my God!
You have 10 seconds left to write the essay.
Okay. I don't want to
3,
fail.
2,
Wait, no!
1.
Oh, damn it.
This is F. Don't worry. English won't kill you that bad. Let's get out here.
Well, it looks like she's dead. Remember, kids, never procrastinate.
And never wait till the last minute to read your books.
Have you killed any other students?
Yes.
What causes you to give ones to students on their essays?
I give points to students that go off topic with their essays and do not tie back to the prompt. I also give points out to students who leave out major portions of their essays, such as their second body paragraph or their conclusion.
Is there any special quality that would make you not fail a student?
Of course, tying back to the audience, like maybe using pathos, ethos, and logos. Yeah.
And have you ever installed wind turbines in your backyard?
Yes.
Interesting. Very interesting.
So our next skit is based on the book by Martin Luther King Jr., I Have a Dream, Writings and Speeches That Changed the World. So in this book, it's a series of different speeches and essays and writings that Martin Luther King had, and he discusses his position on the civil rights movement and his feelings towards the racial inequality that existed in America. And in our skit, Nana, Rolando, Jacob, and Cade will discuss their dream about succeeding in AP English.
I have a dream that all the little English students will pass their quizzes and tests and make a 5 on their AP exams. I have a dream that everyone will earn their college credit. Oh yes, I have a dream.
Ask you a question?
Yeah.
Alright, we want to know, what do you think about the MLK speech you just heard?
Well, I really do agree with most of his points. I really think that we need to read the books and focus on the APMCs and stuff like that. And if we don't, we might not get the grade that we want on our AP test. And that's really important because that's the only way we can get college credit. So make sure to read your books, take the essay seriously, and take your APMC seriously.
I'm here to talk about my experience in English, alright guys? I want y'all to listen closely to me. Not too close, that's too close, back up. After I read MLK, the book, okay? The book, his speeches, his best writings, we write some essays. And these essays, you better not procrastinate them, because you know what happens? You know what happens to procrastinators? They fail, okay? You listen to me. Come here, actually, come close, come close. Listen to me. Don't procrastinate. You gotta write these essays, okay? Because you'll end up like me. Like me. You see the pain?
Man, I felt the APMC and I just did not study, man. I thought that was so hard, bro. All those rhetorical devices, man, I didn't even know what I was thinking, bro. Man, kids just remember, study. Study them rhetorical devices. They're gonna help you out.
So I'm here to talk about every book we've read. Each book is pretty long. They're very depressing, but it's all worth it because if you read them very carefully, you will get a very good grade. But if you don't take the time to read all of them and just on the last day decide to just do a spark note or just summary of the overall book, it won't work. I did a bunch of the audiobooks. That doesn't work either. Just make sure you read all the books very carefully, understand all of them, and the main one is MLK because the entire book is comprised of all of his speeches and letters, and if you do all this, you'll definitely pass.
Our next skit is based on the book The Crucible by Arthur Miller, and it is a story about the Salem witch trials that took place in Massachusetts Bay Colony during 1692 to 1693. So in our skit, Alyssa, Marianne, Lauren, and I discuss our greatest trials of junior year as an AP English student.
Order in the court. Today before you I have a couple of testimonies from AP English students who will discuss their challenges and the trials that they went through in this course.
Hi, my name is Marianne Pan, and my greatest trial in AP English 3 would be the APMCs. I wish I studied more and annotated my book before the test in order to get familiar with more literary devices and make the questions more understandable, because whenever I got onto the test, it was really hard to figure out which one is which and what it was asking for. So I advise y'all to annotate your books and actually read them.
Angela, and my biggest trial during AP English 3 was writing the essays on time that we got 2 weeks to complete and waiting till the last minute to make a sloppy essay when I could have spent 2 weeks doing a well thought out, three body paragraph essay, but instead I did 2 body paragraphs. So don't be like me.
Hi, my name is Chloe Tran, and I'm a student in AP English, and my greatest trial this year was reading all the books in time for the APMC test and doing well on them because I thought that it was really hard to learn the literary devices and all the vocabulary.
Hello, it's I, Lauren Shorrock, and I'm here to talk with you about struggles of junior year. Omar's laughing at me, but it's kind of rude. So, number one, you have to be able to balance your time. You do lots of activities like sports or clubs, and English takes a lot of time, especially just reading all the books. Secondly, all of the answers take up a lot of space on your phone, so you might need to upgrade. Omar, where am I on time?
29 seconds.
29 seconds. Another thing that's a major struggle of junior year is knowing that this is the last year that your GPA really matters and you have to work really hard and take your most APs. I took 6 APs because, you know, government. Yeah, and that's just major struggles of junior year. Thank you.
We're live? Come on, Carl. Tell me. Thank you, ladies, for your inspiring words on your greatest trials this year with the English course, and I appreciate your telling of what students should do better to make sure they learn from your mistakes. I appreciate that greatly, and that'll help many students, hopefully. You know, my greatest trial was Carl because he never tells me when we're filming. That means incompetent. Ugh.
So our last skit is based on the book The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. In this book, it tells the story of the eccentric millionaire Jay Gatsby as told by Nick Carraway, a Midwesterner who lives on Long Island but works in Manhattan. Gatsby's enormous mansion is adjacent to Carraway's modest home, and Carraway becomes curious about his neighbor after being invited to one of his famous grand parties. So, in our skit, Amal, Iman, Ella, Kobe, Emily, and Cannon describe the good things that we celebrate as an AP English student.
Hi, my name is Amal. In the story of The Great Gatsby, in spite of the social scandal, there is always a prime time for a high-class celebration of life. As so, English 3 AP teaches fundamental writing skills and literary analysis and the proper interpretation of prompts that will surely pay off towards SAT writing assignments and college application questions. When all essays, reading assignments, and the AP exam are finally completed, you are rewarded with a free work period and certainly time to recover.
Hi, my name is Iman, and one good thing English 3 AP has taught me was how to write essays. We are taught how to manage our time properly while also creating good quality arguments. The strategies and approaches I learned from this class are also applicable to SATs, college applications, and even job applications. Although this class is a little difficult, the benefits definitely outweigh the difficulties. And after the intense practice throughout the year, the essays will get much easier. Good luck.
My advice on AP English is that you should read carefully when doing APMCs, and do not procrastinate on the essays, because timing is very important when it comes to English. It will also help you prepare for college and writing the essays. It will improve your critical thinking and shows that you're able to handle college level classes. Towards the end of the year, these APMCs will pay off for the AP exams and it'll all be worth it.
Okay. Hi, my name is Ella. One good thing about AP Lang is that you learn how to manage your time wisely. With 3 essays to write within 2 hours, it forces you to focus and get things done. My advice for the AP exam would be to read each prompt prior to writing and properly divide your time to avoid running out of time. This is especially helpful when doing college assignments, and at the end of the day, it is your celebration.
My name is Emily, and one good thing about being in AP Lang is that it helps you build your skills for English. Like studying for the AP exam all year long can help you build your reading and writing skills for college and such. And after you finish studying for the AP exam, you can also like relax and watch movies at the end of class at the end of the year, and you'll become really good at writing.
Okay, so one thing there is about taking AP Lang, there's a lot of time writing,
but it also helps you to prepare for the AP exam, and you still get to do group projects and like get with your friends and meet new people in the class. So you also have to study for the AP exam, but after all your hard work, you kind of technically get like lots of free time. You get to not do work kind of and just like chill and lay back, and then like your work's already paid off, especially if you get like a 3 on the AP exam.
SNL is provided by McDonald's, Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, and the national bookseller of the United States, Barnes & Noble, where they have the best book selections for the best prices. Make sure you get all your books from there. And look at that compilation list where they have the best stuff, the best things, and the happiest you can be. And remember, if you're not smiling, you're not doing it wrong.